This is Good Life. I'm Dean Wilson. Today's program is great. Nathaniel Curran is with me. He's a former professional surfer, and he runs something called the Young and Brave Foundation, which you're going to want to know about. Nathaniel Curran, The Good Life, is next. Welcome to Good Life. I'm Dean Wilson. So glad you've joined us today, wherever you are. I want to remind you, you can watch all the interviews for Good Life on goodlifetelevision.org. You can also follow us on all the social media platforms, and we'd love to see you there. goodlifetelevision.org. Special guest today is Nathaniel Curran, who's with me. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Nathaniel is the global team manager for Channel Island Surfboards, and he's also the co-founder of the Young and Brave Foundation, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But last night I was reading your story, and it's really it was fun to read and cool. So let's go back to 2000, I guess 7.
Yeah.
So you're a surfer.
Yep.
You have a sponsor, 3-year sponsor. You hurt your shoulder.
Yeah, it was the third time I dislocated my shoulder. And
Surfing?
Yeah. The first time was basketball. The second 2 times were surfing. So the first one was at 18, and then the last one was at like 25, I think it was.
Okay.
So
when you hurt your shoulder, your sponsor just dropped you at the time?
I think they gave me like maybe a month or 2, and then let me go. So I just bought a house, just had a new car, and they kind of just terminated my contract.
And so you're left with an injured shoulder. You have to sell everything.
Yep. And
then your family made a decision, or you kind of got together with your family to say.
Yeah, it was my we have a close family, and both my brothers were professional surfers, and my goal was to make the world tour, and so they came to me and like, what do you think? And we think you should sell everything. And my mom was like, okay, well, you have 1 year to make the tour. Like just pretend this is your college, and I pretty much credit carded everything for a year, and ended up having the best year of my life that year. Okay,
so how does it work, the tour? How do you make the tour? And I want to talk about the event that you won in Huntington Beach in 2008, but just by way of process, how does this work for a professional surfer? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's changed a little bit now, but when I was doing it, it was the World Qualifying Series. So that was everyone trying to qualify to make the World Championship Tour, which is the top 32 in the world. When I was there, it was the 44 in the world. So every year, like 16 people fall off the championship tour, and then the qualifying tour, those 16 people in the top would go on. The next year. So, and there's 500 to 600 people globally that are competing, and so to get in that top 16 is really, really tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the years before, leading up to it, I think I got into the 30s to 40s, but never broke that
16.
16.
Okay, so then you go to Huntington Beach, July of 2008.
Yep.
What happens?
So, well, leading up to that, I had a couple good results, because they take your best, was it 6 or 8 events through the year?
Okay.
And they're stars. So like 6-star would be the highest events, 1-star would be the lowest.
Okay.
So you want to do the 6 stars.
Yeah.
So leading up to it, I had a couple good results, and then come into the U.S. Open, like kind of hometown for us in California.
Yeah.
Our big event. I watched my brother, Tim, make the final like 2 or 3 times and never win. And so just growing up watching my brother, I always wanted to win that one event. That's watching Kelly Slater, Tom Curran, Rob Machado. So we get to August, and I ended up having an amazing event. I stayed at my friend Brett Simpson's house that year, and he made the semis, and then I ended up winning the U.S. Open in 2008.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. Does that mean you're number 1 in the world for that moment? Or
so no, that would be, I guess you would say at the time I'd be 45th in the world, because if you're counting the World Championship Tour.
Okay.
But that ended up putting me into #1 on the World Qualifying Series. And then the next event was Japan, was a 6-star, I got 5th. I flew straight from there to France, and I won the France Lacanau Pro, which was a 6-star. And then Hossiger was another 6-star, I got 5th.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was like in a month. Yeah.
And you're
on one surfboard.
I mean, I don't know. On one surfboard.
Yeah, my favorite board.
How does this, like, do you get, I mean, in basketball, if you're like hitting threes, you know, you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Were you in the zone for a month? How does this work?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously training and just surfing so much in contests for so many years, I just felt like I kind of just clicked into the zone. And I was working, my brother watches me a lot, my middle brother Josh, and he was videotaping my heats on his camera off the screen that they were recording, like a live stream.
Yeah.
And then when I would come home, we'd go over it, and he'd be like, look, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what this guy did. And so just having my family involved and helping me, just like everything clicked. I was so focused. I remember like being at the US Open, I would put a towel over my head like in between heats, and I don't know, just people were talking to me, things were going in, but I just was so focused on what I wanted to do, and the motivation, because I lost my sponsors and all that.
Right. You had a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And that that's a good thing.
Yeah. And having a good surfboard, like they always talk about a magic surfboard, and luckily I worked closely with Channel Island Surfboards, and just the surfboard was amazing. It was effortless, and I didn't have to think about anything.
Wow.
So.
And then that year you make a pretty good chunk of money, and then you ended up getting sponsored, and your life changed.
Yeah, for sure.
In that month.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was great. Yeah, I ended up making, I think I made close to $80,000 on that one surfboard or something like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get into this, how do they do it? If a young person wants to try to compete in surfing, how do they do that?
Yeah, well, me and all my brothers, we started at the NSSA contest here locally, and they run up and down California. They have events pretty much every weekend. So I would say, look up the NSSA.
NSSA.
Yeah, it's the National Scholastic Surfing Association.
Okay, so that's like the Little League for surfing.
Yeah, so they do it normally you do those until you're like 16 to 18, and then at 18 I turned pro and left and started doing, when I was like 16 I started doing little pro contests like the 1-stars and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah.
So my last question may be about surfing, but are you afraid of sharks? I am.
Yeah, do
you see them?
I've seen little ones. I've never been, is there any wood around?
Knock on
wood.
Yeah.
I've never been scared, like where I saw one, I'm like, I'm gonna get eaten, but I've seen little ones and been like, okay, maybe I'll go in or get, I swear in the water sometimes you'll just get a weird feeling or a weird smell, and I'll just be like, nah, I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think everyone is afraid of sharks, but it's like, that's, people get into cars every day and people die in cars, and it's like, so I don't know.
Probably not a big problem.
Yeah.
First of all, before we get to the Young and Brave Foundation, you work with Channel Islands Surfboards today.
Yep.
What you're a global team leader, what does that mean?
So I kind of take care of all the athletes, mainly the top athletes that are on our team that are on the championship tour. Okay. So I look after them to make sure all their boards are ordered, shaped, done, and delivered to wherever they need to be. Okay. Or like sometimes I'm bringing boards to them. I'm going to an event and I'm going to bring boards to them.
Okay.
And working with the shaper and working with their dimensions to make sure everything's right. And there's so many, technical things that go into a surfboard. So and like for different waves, Hawaii, they need a whole nother kind of quiver of boards. Yeah.
So based on the location
and waves, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
And so you work with like the athletes that Channel Islands sponsors?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I take care of all those guys, and I work closely with Britt Merrick, who's our lead shaper, and
Right.
we have 3 other team shapers.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And if people want to watch, like let's say locally on the California Central Coast,
Yep.
where can they find information about events to go support?
Yeah, they can go on the WSL.
WSL.
Yeah, that's the World Surfing League.
Okay.
And they can log on, and if there's events, I mean, normally during normal times,
Right.
there's an event once or twice a month, and they're live, so people can just watch.
You can watch online.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think surfing was like one of the big front runners of webcast live sports. Like they've been doing it for a long time. We used to watch when my brother was competing. We would watch. It would be their name, and then scores would just pop up. You weren't watching anything but a screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we'd be like, yeah, and you didn't even see anything. You just saw a score pop up.
Wow.
So,
What is it about surfing? It seems like for a lot of people that I know that are into surfing, it's almost like a therapeutic thing.
Yeah.
To be in. Is that been true for you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's so weird. It's something about the salt water. I think it's about leaving all your phone,
right,
all your stuff, like on the beach, and like going in the water. No one can just hit you up. I need this. I need that. It's just like you and the ocean, and normally a few friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just something that you're just away from everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you can go on hikes and stuff, but I think the ocean and the salt water are something different.
Yeah. It's the power of nature. I mean, and you probably see it. I mean, with some of the waves, I'm sure you've surfed. It's amazing to me, like the size, the scope of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Of like it's a perspective checker in a sense.
Yeah.
That we're pretty small.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Hawaii, and me and my brothers never really did the Mavericks, that whole thing. We were more competitive surfers, and I mean, those guys are crazy. Me and my brother both have asthma, so that was a little factor.
Right.
We surf big waves, but
there's some people that.
Yeah.
What did you say about Mavericks?
Yeah, Mavericks is up in just above Santa Cruz, Northern California.
And that's where the huge.
Yeah, they have big wave contests, and those guys are they're insane. And those guys train hard, and those guys are gnarly. They have something that I don't have. I don't know, or lacking something. I don't know.
One of the two.
No.
Yeah.
But I
maybe
mean,
the latter.
But yeah, those guys and girls, man, are charging.
That's incredible.
Huge waves.
That's incredible. Well, that's fascinating. I want to transition into the Young and Brave Foundation, and I'd love you to tell the story, but just by way of introduction. So the Young and Brave Foundation, 501c3 since 2011,
Yep.
With the vision of helping young adults and children diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
This came out of an experience that you had or your family had. Tell us about kind of what happened and then how it became what it is.
Yeah. In 2009, actually my ex-girlfriend got diagnosed with leukemia, and so it instantly changed my life forever. Like just knowing that someone you love can be gone in a second. Right. Especially when you're at a young age, you're not thinking about death as much.
Right.
And it was just something that I guess I spent a week with her at the hospital, and I was just like, man, this is so gnarly that someone can be taken from you. So, obviously I got with a couple friends and, our community. We're like, hey, let's start a nonprofit. And obviously we started because of her, and we ended up raising a bunch of money for her, and everyone was kind of like, oh, I love the name, Young and Brave. And so I really wanted to obviously, number one is take care of her and financial and all that stuff.
She had no insurance.
She had no insurance at the time, so it was pretty gnarly. And then also down the line, we wanted to create a nonprofit that was a cool brand as well.
Right.
That I just didn't feel like there was anyone at that time that had a brand of a nonprofit that was, I don't mean to say
Cool.
cool, but
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like just like made cool stuff and that you could wear and you were like stoked to support it. And
Yeah.
so in our sphere of, I guess, surf community kind of thing.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that's how it started. And
And you've raised a lot of money.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, she was the first one, and she's doing good. She's married and she's got 3 kids.
Really?
Yeah, 3 daughters.
she recovered.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, she's doing
wonderful.
good. So,
And so you kind of latch on with a family, and then you help support them.
yeah,
or
so
help
we
them?
we get I would say our foundation is like you go onto our website and we're like a platform, like kind of like a GoFundMe kind of thing.
Okay.
And so we get connected with families different ways, through social media, through just a family, a friend, and so we put them on our website. And then what is cool, we just actually link their PayPal to their site. So now if you go to donate, it goes directly to them. It doesn't even go through us.
Oh, if they go to your site,
Yeah.
and donate to a family, it goes straight to them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because we felt like with the nonprofit world, there's a lot of restrictions that you can and can't do.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So we found that it was best if the money just went directly to them.
Wow.
And there's so many families that, you know, one of the parents has to quit their job to take care
Yeah.
of the kid,
Yeah.
or stay at home, parking at the hospital. There's so many hitting costs that people don't think about, that we're like, hey, we just want this money to go to them to spend however they need to.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So yeah, it's been 11 years, and we've $1 million has gone through our website to Warriors, and that's
so great.
people donating directly to them,
Wow.
which is pretty cool.
And people, so you have gear.
Yep.
So if people want to support Young and Brave,
Yep.
they can either donate or they could buy gear,
Yeah.
cool gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your website?
So it's the youngandbrave.com.
youngandbrave.com.
.com.
Youngandbrave.com. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. So if somebody's watching this and they know of a family that has a situation with a
Yep.
kid,
They can log on and it will, you can click on Support a Warrior, and it will take them to a thing to fill out all their information to sign up to become, we call them our warriors, to become a warrior.
and so then they're featured on your website
Yep.
that way.
Yeah. And then we would connect their PayPal, and then
Wow.
anyone that wants to donate could help that family.
It's amazing how, tough stuff like this can change your life.
Yeah.
I mean, so here you have an ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
who all of a sudden has this diagnosis.
Yeah.
How has it changed? How has this road, and then Young and Brave happens, and how has all of this changed your perspective in your life?
Oh, whew. For sure. I think it's changed my life in the way of like, we all get caught up in so much stuff in life of like, just, we need this, I need this,
Yeah.
give me this, or I'm in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's just, I always try to like step back and go, man, it's like, I know families that are dealing with their little kid that has cancer. Like,
Right. You don't have. As
I don't
many
have
problems as you
that
think you
kind of
have.
problem. So it's really been an eye opener for me to like kind of just stand back and go, hey, I'm fine. My family's healthy.
Yeah.
Like let's figure this out.
Perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So, and I wanted to create an avenue for kids. I grew up in the surf industry, and I want to be sponsored. I want free stuff. I need this. And it's like everyone wants. But I wanted to create something that kids could get behind and go, hey, I want to give back.
Yeah.
I want to help someone and show them, and like, I want to give them an avenue to give back.
Yeah.
So,
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Wow. And you're going to keep this going. I mean, Young and Brave is here. You want to keep this going. Forever.
Yeah, I recently, my middle brother jumped on board and helps me, my middle brother Josh, and he's kind of helping. He's been a great help with the website and just dialing everything in for us, and we have a great board right now with just some amazing people that have helped us and kind of geared us in the last few years. So
Wow.
it's been a cool.
And is Channel
experience.
Islands at all involved in the?
Yeah, they help donate and stuff, and
Oh, they do.
yeah.
And
So-
do you have any events or anything?
Yeah, normally our
I mean, not
events
right now, but-
would be posted on our website, but we're actually the only event we can do right now is the we have a golf tournament that we're doing in 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
And
Here?
in Camarillo at Spanish Hills Country Club.
Oh, nice.
So that's our annual one. It'll be our seventh year doing it there, and that's kind of a big turnout. And we can do it because it's outside, and
yeah,
you know.
Right. And surfing is okay now. What are the rules?
Yes, surfing's okay at this time. It's crazy. Surf and golf, that's what I love, and right now everyone's doing it. I mean, surfboards are flying off the rack because no one can go on a trip, you know, or they're just staying home, and golf. It's hard to get a tee time right now.
Yeah. How do people buy Channel Islands surfboards? What's the best way to buy a surfboard from Channel Islands?
Well, we have a store in Santa Barbara on State Street.
Okay.
I think it's on Anacapa. And they have an awesome store with hundreds of boards and clothes and gear. And if they're not local, they can buy boards online.
Channel Islands.
Channel Islands. I think it's cisurfboards.com.
cisurfboards.com.
Yeah, and you can go on and you can actually custom build your own board. You can put on where you want your logos of the CI.
Really?
You can like put different airbrushes, different tails. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We need a Good Life surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get you one.
Done. Done. Do you train young surfers?
I've done a little bit of coaching, but I've kind of just always had a lot going on, like the foundation, a job.
Yeah.
I always have some new. My wife always gets mad at me. She's like, "Oh, yeah, you're starting a new company? Okay, yeah." So right now it's the foundation and work at CI.
That's awesome.
So, but I get to like help. I get to help a lot of our team riders. You know, some like just dialing in their equipment is a good help.
So 15 years as a professional surfer on the ASP World Tour. And the Young and Brave Foundation is youngandbrave.com.
Yep.
Nathaniel Curran, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Me too.
You're quite a guy. Thanks for coming on Good Life.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.